Okay, Paula asked if I could talk a little bit about the project I've been working on and off for the last few years, and yes, I'd love to. We're working in a remote part of the state of Utah in a place called Range Creek Canyon. Around 1,000 years ago, Range Creek Canyon was the site of a large Native American community, a group known today as the Fremont people, spelled Fremont. The number of archaeological sites and the state of preservation of the sites is amazing. In the first year we worked there, in 1 week, we recorded 77 undisturbed sites. That's phenomenal. I've worked in archaeology pretty much all my adult life, and I've only seen half a dozen sites that I knew were absolutely undisturbed. But in Range Creek Canyon, there are hundreds.
Like, what kind of stuff have you found there?
Oh, houses, granaries, rock art, a digging stick, rope, stone blades, arrows and arrowheads, lots of pottery, what looks like personal jewelry, and we've only surveyed maybe 5 to 10% of the area. It's mind-boggling.
Are these sites that we could visit if we were out in the area?
Actually, it is now possible for the public to visit Range Creek, and that's, you've all learned a great deal about archaeology and are pretty serious about it, but the general public, let's just say a lot of us in the field aren't so crazy about the idea.
I can imagine. So this is a pretty recent thing?
Yes, because the location's so remote, the sites weren't discovered until the 1940s. Then, after they were discovered, the family that owned the land kept very strict control over the sites and who could visit them and what they could do there and so on. But then, in 2002, the family sold that land to the government, and so now the public has much greater access to it.
Maybe too much access?
Right. And there are lots of sites you have to excavate really quickly because some construction company's anxious to get in there with its heavy equipment. But that's not the case with Range Creek. If I had my way, we wouldn't touch most of those sites till at least 20 or 30 years from now, when I expect we'll have technologies we can't even imagine yet. It won't matter, though, what high-tech methods we might develop if the government can't keep the sites protected. So that's a major concern right now.
So, are there, any great mysteries there? Like with the Maya in Central America.
Yes, there are. For instance, the Fremont built some of their houses in really inconvenient places, like on rock pinnacles or on the edges of cliffs, really dangerous places to live. Not a great place to raise children. Plus, you're 1,000 feet above your water and your fields, and they put their granaries, where they store their corn, in virtually inaccessible places, high on the sides of canyon walls. You can imagine the amount of work it took to construct them. All the stone, all the mud they're made of, had to be carried up to those high locations to build them. And corn was their most important crop.
Maybe they were afraid some other group was going to attack them? Or maybe it could have had something to do with their religion. Like feeling they were closer to their gods up there.
Well, those are actually two current theories. And I think it probably was defense that was their top priority. If that's true, then the question really is, who or what was it that made them feel so insecure? Then there's another mystery. Around 1300 AD, there's a major change. For some reason, they stopped building substantial structures. They stopped making fine pottery. There was a change in their basket making. And it looks like a pretty firm break. So did other people come in and force the Fremont out? Or did farming become difficult, so people returned to hunting and gathering? Or...
Wasn't 1300 AD, didn't something mysterious happen to other Native American peoples at that time, too?
Ah, so you're really into the mysteries. Yes, 1300 AD. It's one of the biggest questions in American archaeology. You had widespread sudden change, you had societies collapsing, and that's one reason the Range Creek sites are so promising. We might finally be able to figure out what happened, gain some insight into a number of Native American societies.
What does the professor mainly discuss? What is the professor explaining when she mentions the number and condition of archaeological sites in Range Creek Canyon? Why does the professor say that the students have learned a great deal about archaeology? When did public access to the archaeological sites in the Range Creek Canyon area greatly increase? What is the professor's opinion about excavation of the Range Creek Canyon sites? According to the professor, what are two mysteries related to the Fremont people? According